welcome back. Got a really exciting episode. So we're gonna animate. Some pee. Okay. Okay. Pardon me if I tricked you. Let's see, what color should we make the pee? Maybe it'll be less pea-like if it's just blue. Okay. So I've been peeing, right? I know. You too? I know. Okay. When I pee, well, I could pee sitting down, and I appreciate that angle. Maybe unfortunately, because of splash, then I choose anyway, in spite of the splash. And the other reasons to not pee standing up, to still do it, and recently I've been watching like a hawk. And I thought I'd share. So that's typically P comes in at this angle, right? Okay, this is the thing, is it hits around here. Okay, we got a P contact zone, splash zone. It's going in all directions, but like the bowl is sloped inwards, so like there's maybe I should make like a bathymetric data map for this. Anyway, but essentially what happens is the water starts to churn, and it goes like this over here, and it goes like this way. And what's really interesting, let's make this bigger. Size, there it is as this flows, it goes this way, and it goes this way. But what ends up happening is this way, the right side, that gets more momentum, ends up just getting like, maybe I should even thicken this, getting more force. Oops. Let's undo that. Go back there. Back there. I mean, I don't think it like necessarily loses a race per se. But what then starts to happen is like that. This is where it gets really exciting. Then they flow it in this way and like churn. Where then, because this one's like dominant, it kind of like goes like this. Alright. Like blocks it off. And ultimately, the flow this way begins going more like this way. And then this advances. This goes back further. It essentially turns into, let's go to a blank keyframe. A flow. Now, if the P enters in the splash zone, is not here but is over here, then it ends up spinning in the opposite direction. Whew. Okay. Something else though, like when it's here, I think it like encapsulates this kind of thing and then like carries forward a nucleus that then like maybe moves to the center, like wraps around to the center. If the system continues to be fueled, I mean, if the fuel seizes, then you know the process seizes. So I think it's really interesting, and then the bubbles are like forming. Let's go here. They're forming like fronts. That are going like this. And then like this, and becoming like more banded. Maybe let's just change this size. So more like this. Oh, I should have peed before this. What was I thinking? I didn't have the fuel, you know? Oh. I gotta do this way. This way, essentially, all filled in too. Yeah. With bubbles. So there's a bunch of bubbles. Sorry guys, you do not have to watch this, I know. Oh my god. Let's say blank keyframe. Make this even bigger. That's way bigger. Where like it starts to roll it up. Perhaps, I haven't paid attention. I'm gonna have to get back to you guys on this. Maybe I really didn't finish the study yet. Because I feel like it's like fundamental. Sorry, ladies. I also feel I'm like, oh damn. Advantage. Then I'm like, other videos of like pee flowing into toilets. Like, what if I played that? Would that be weird? I mean, maybe there's videos of something flowing into containers. Maybe let's see if we can find something other than like a pee demo. Flow in bowl. I mean, I almost dare I demonstration, so it's not P. A flow in a toilet bowl. Oh, no, we really need, do I, of P? Oh no, okay, we got not good. Pardon me. Okay. So, let's do a new blank one. It's basically it starts like congesting this one, while this one kind of wraps around, and maybe snake eating its tail, nucleus from the other direction, recessive current. And then we get a continuous flow with a nucleus from the secondary system. I'm just like imagining a flow into a basin from some point, and how it would flow around the basin is going to be like fanning out and then going along the boundaries like this at a higher velocity, like shallograms, and essentially wrap around the boundary and meet at some point where then it either like perfectly is balanced maybe and comes back across and like is one of the mechanisms that can just split rock, have like rocks be perfectly split. But if it's not balanced, then the dominant one like continues along its trajectory and the other one either goes out it, but it's got a boundary, so it goes in and gets cut off from its source, while the other one like encapsulates the nucleus that it was forming and just like systematically produces from an inflow some type of interaction from that flow that can at times produce really interesting outcomes. uh whew. I should have started warning. You may, I mean, it's it kind of makes sense though. Let's maybe hide the toilet bowl a little more. There you go, toilet bowl. What do you mean toilet bowl? It's just a white background with some ceramic. Okay. It's beautiful. Do I have any new shallogram pictures? Oh yeah, this one. Haven't talked about this one. This one seems maybe appropriate. Spinning around and around, maybe running into resistance then. Like flows in two directions. Let's see. It's really, one goes off this peak here. Interesting, it's elongated too. This is really long. This one is tall. Like it's elongated towards that. And then it's just cutting around and around and around underneath. Maybe. Essentially, the whole of this rock is like a base fluid that has water and shale and all of the components that generally were homogeneous, well mixed, and flowed under pressure to then essentially at the core separate into like pure water that then carved out pathways to release the internal pressure from flow pushing in, but pressure holding it in, so it just like cuts ways out, so it cuts around. But then maybe in the process, this rock is being formed by the currents themselves in the currents, and that's where the shale is from. And so it's like maybe behaving as this counterflow, like it comes in to this eddy as one flow and then it separates into basically water at its one end and shale at the other, and in between having like the gold colors and all the other colors that are between like the black and the just void of the where the water was, and nothing was there except water occupying the space because it etched it out fully. So like it collides maybe at this point, like by the shale running into it enough that it like cannot proceed any further, and the shale like continues to flow into this region, but this etches out the boundary around here, just like, and any material in this flow that tries to like fall down in is just pushed out. And so it just like flows across, gets over here, and continues to shape the rock like over here. But in this space, it's just getting etched out. Over here, though, it's actually resisting the etching, which maybe leads to it erupting here secondarily. Like it's trying to carve more just like this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, just continuously larger loops outward. But at this point, this loop, in order to do it, it had to go all the way around and back through like just a larger rock. So it just didn't have space. It started to go into the actual rock too much, and that was like trying to cut through a current that's flowing this way that's just wasn't letting it proceed any further, which then just built up pressure more within this chamber because it was relieving pressure. Like pressure's current is flowing in possibly from like right here or right here, in here, around and around and around and around, probably something like that, and then around and out and out and out and out. But then it runs into something that won't let it grow any further, so it stabilizes at that size, but the pressure is not like it's more than that pressure is stable for, so the pressure keeps building again until it erupts then from the pole of this inlet region. Maybe it goes around because it's within, it like goes in across a current maybe that's doing like the P. Like the P is a very good example of what's going on up here. Because it's kind of in a ball on top of the ammonite, it's spiraling around it, and then down into it, but spiraling in a way that it has like two currents go around, collide, flow inward, and let's get that example. Where is it? Maybe that one? That one's okay. That's not the one. Does not capture it. Oh, it's a really nice one. I just don't know where it is. There it is. 287. I should remember that one. Current flows this way, current flows this way. They meet here. And then I guess they continue to. I'm not sure. I think they meet here. This one just kind of stops and it gets forced more so through this channel. And then it wraps around into here then, as well as just like under the pressure here, getting pushed around this way maybe, while holding the boundary. Like transfer of this force around through the boundary back across the material, and then causing a channel from this zone and over here. Possibly the same going on here, where it goes down here, runs into pressure, and then goes back that way. Just creating more like strength in that part of the rock so that it holds on in the currents that are etching the surfaces in a way that reveals the process better. So maybe that's going on here, where it goes up this way. Oops. Then maybe up this way. I'm just thinking if it goes up this way and up this way in a similar way, and then this one kind of basically runs into it here, then it would just naturally produce a boundary that would just be weaker, and maybe is related to why this was like the pole and it wasn't like forming more like over here. Like had this current gotten further over into the rock, this would have formed more out here with this like at this equivalent. Something of that nature. This would have all been moved over a bit. But it went through the like weak point, and then it found the weak point as well between the two branches, like here. This one being a larger bulk flow, and a larger bulk flow that's more stable in the rock. That's incredible. We can see the ammonite features upward here, which would mean a shell atop it, not below it, and yet clearly this is related to this system. So this system is producing those up here. Possibly with like a chakra somewhere going on along the edge here where the two meet, like a chakra between them, even like a single chakra. Which reminds me of one of my favorites of all. This one. Where it actually forms another system up. So maybe like this one had a current flow going upward, but it actually ended up producing like between the two branches that were maybe coming generally from over here and going over this way and over this way, and then they met and it had a natural boundary between them. And then at that boundary, this one, the spiral down here, was causing a upwelling through the rock here, which then went through the natural boundary at the chakra between them, and then formed this structure within this stone adjacent to this structure. That's pretty plausible, I'd say. I mean, it's connected over there. I think that is where it would have been flowing from based on the other ones we've seen. Like if we go back to this one. This one's flowing. I mean, it's really pointing almost here, if anywhere, on this one. This one, and it just has two possible flows. Maybe this is overflowing, flowing down. I mean, it's never exactly the same in terms of this. Like, it's not gonna be like at the 90 degree angle off of here necessarily. I haven't looked at least to see how like absolute something of that nature is. I mean, definitely not absolute, that's for sure. They're just so unique, there's no way. It would just be too limited of a variable. It's almost like speaks to something like when we restrict some kind of nature amongst us, how it just like makes us less unique. Holograms are like, hold up, yo. Hold up, yeah. Okay, this one's opening is maybe 90 degrees-ish. Interesting, interesting. I'm just thinking, nothing particular. Okay, I like this one. Is clearly the opposite direction, if anything. Yeah, this is the bottom. Shivalin. Oh. Little whale. Okay, I'm just looking at these now. They're so incredible. How are these fossils? It makes no sense. Oh my god, look right there. It kind of looks like a planet, like Jupiter's clouds from this one. Definitely some kind of character. Okay, let's find some that connect across the top in a less complete way, in a revealing way. They're all like fully coated around. We need the ones like this, like this. Again, this one's at a 90-degree angle, opposite direction. So maybe there is something to it of that nature. I haven't looked for it, honestly. I'm thinking in terms of like spin, like electron spin, things of that nature. Quantum mechanics concepts that are spin related. Anything spin related, possibly something like that could be an aspect. Although this one looks pretty opposite. And with something over here, but definitely with a divide. And this is gone from over here to here. It's even dividing there. So I would say whatever's sourcing the top then in that other one is from that side over there. And it's got a divide section like this. That other one being this one. It's sourced over here. So it wraps around and then has a boundary between the currents where it's just a weak point where current can then flow from this system up through it, and then it ends up etching chakras at energetic, like, points that are just energetically favorable for it, I guess, and that then leads to a secondary system. I mean, this thing literally disproves biology, a significant chunk of it, chemistry, a significant chunk of it. At least it more so sheds light onto a significant chunk of chemistry than disproving. But like disproves geology and physics in terms of plate tectonics. Like it shows there were intense current flows of water etching these systems and all the other aspects that tie in that just really demonstrate like this alone by having this little boop rewrites all of science just by existing. It's as simple as that, and that there's many of them that do that. I was also in a good way. Once I get past being an ass about it, and you guys get past like not listening to me. I mean, some people are. Thanks, guys. Pardon me. I just mean like the collective, the ones like holding the microphone, controlling like the decisions of where we invest energy as a people. Essentially, like persuading people by holding the microphone. Not really by persuasion, just by. So, there's no other options? Yeah, so there's no other options. We're gonna get back to. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in the press conference. Yeah, it's coming out in 7 months. Alright. Yeah, there's other ideas. They're all stupid. Don't worry about them. But I was thinking, though, this. Let's pull it up. Well, some shit going on. Okay, I found these pictures because they're better. 241. Okay, I gotta remember that I gotta save it as 241. Or maybe just put them with my pictures also. Okay. But I was thinking, right here, there's the dendrite that we talked about. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about in my last two, I think last two episodes, maybe not anymore. I made like at least one between it about this stone. But this dendrite, I was thinking, behaves kind of like a neutron. And then ammonites within a stone like this behave like a proton. In terms of the periodic table of currents, where mounds are neutrons, protons are places where current flowed and opened up space within the stone, within the atom in that case. But in the stone, that is atomic because it behaves like a fractal iterative particle. When it was forming, it was literally like atoms. And so when it was an atom, it had atomic characteristics that are actually representative of those things on a macroscopic scale. So we can be like, that is a proton, that is a neutron, on a like angle of perception that sheds light. So I'm thinking, my thoughts is maybe what happened here, because it's definitely part of a larger rock. Like from this angle here, it really looks like a piece of a spiral of an ammonite that's on the, like this shape. And this is the outside of a shallogram. that's significantly bigger than it. Like, we can see just a little bit of the front face, and this is a dendrite that on these are like over here. So it's somewhat part of this, but with a smooth face. With, as I was saying in the video, and let me go back, with right here, a dendrite, and I was thinking a divide, and then a divide, like this chunk here, maybe this is a neutron, and this is a neutron. Like anything outside of it, I don't know why in my mind it wouldn't be part of the mass of the atom where it's like part of the neutrons. I don't know. But I was just thinking, like, because it's got this boundary, maybe that this is a neutron and this is a neutron. And then this is a proton, or like the remnants of one, and this is a proton. You really have to see my other videos to know what I'm talking about, that I talked about this. So pardon me if you have not. But proton, proton, and then neutron, neutron, like right between here. And then over at the dendrite. So what breaks off of an atom and it has 2 protons and 2 neutrons is an alpha particle? Right? Yeah. So I'm like, is this an alpha particle? Could it be an alpha particle? It's kind of weird. It's not what I would expect a helium-2 atom to look like. Or like for there to be such a thing as like a dead helium-2 atom that can just hang out like this. Not be reactive. Maybe it is reactive. That would be incredible. Put it near another shallogram. Add heat and they literally react. Oh. Not that I would do that. I very much don't want to disrespect them, even though I've been buying them, so I've probably gone too far and maybe encouraged it, and that's silly of me to not have thought more thoroughly about. Although I was thinking it would be interesting if people who did buy them ended up taking them back to Nepal, and it was like a journey, although then it would just be like, oh my god, there's so many people here. Then I think about people going to places and like participating and like traveling, but then staying in places for long enough to like learn what's going on there and pass that knowledge along if desired, and just like somehow become collective caretakers of everywhere. Like, I definitely, like, the Western life is very appealing and has pulled many people into it, but that's pulled people out of, like, certain lifestyles that maybe are important in ways that are, like, best, maybe. I don't know. Okay, I don't need to drag this on. So, thanks for listening to me talk about my pee. Hopefully your pee too. At least guys pee. I don't know about ladies. They can get one of those camping things, but I don't think it would work so well. It would. It really needs to be probably a focus stream. Although I mean, it would probably shed light in other ways. I'm just thinking like without a higher flow rate, which means I mean, I guess you probably could get it going. I don't want to presume. Okay. See you guys later. Peace.